Hey there, my name is Samir, and today we're going to be looking at how you can make FL Studio work for you. Sorry to all those who don't use FL Studio. I might make some more tutorials on other doors, but for now I'm going to focus on FL Studio. So there's a couple things you might notice on my screen right now. I've got a different skin to the normal one. That's because I like the feeling of working in a digital audio workstation that looks good for me. It's one of those things where looks can actually define something. So I've got a couple of skins here. Most of these I don't really like, but it's all about finding a skin that suits you. I kind of enjoyed this skin. It's a step up from the default one, and it's still simple. It's not hard to read. It's got a nice sort of color scheme for the mixer. So I recommend finding a skin like this that just suits you. To get skins, it's pretty easy. You go on Google, but I'm going to show you some good websites. The first one is the Flipside forum. This is a place for FL Studio users to come together, and on this forum there's a section called the Skin Tank, and the Skin Tank has all these different skins you can use and install for FL Studio. So most of these up to now, obviously with FL Studio 11 out, is for version 11, but if you come down you can find some ones for FL Studio 10 and below. It's just a matter of looking around. So for example, FL Studio 11, there's a theme template, sort of skin, sorry, that's what I meant, skin, for FL Studio 11 and 10, and it's called Geni V1. So yeah, there's all these different skins you can look around. Yeah, and I hope you find something that can work for you. I certainly did anyway. So when you've got your skin and you're happy, next thing you're thinking is how I can actually make FL Studio more productive. Take away what I don't need, keep what I do need. Well, first of all, you might notice that I don't have that online bar. I'll show you what it looked like if I did, but you'll know what I mean. This little thing here, most people have it, but I started to see, I really wanted to know how to get rid of this, because I just thought, well, I don't really care about FL Studio News, and if I can have more space that's clean, away from unnecessary distractions, that can help. So I just click on View, Toolbars, and choose what you want to take out. It could be the online panel, it could be any one of these things. I think the rest of these are quite useful. So that's how you get set up with toolbars. Next thing you might notice is I have a few browser folders that are hidden. I chose to take away what I didn't really need, what I didn't really use. There's quite a bit of folders I've taken out actually. So all you have to do is go onto my computer, program files, or 86, whether you're on 64-bit or 32-bit, image line, FL Studio 11, and data. You might not see these NFO files, these backup project system, and you might be thinking, why don't I have them? Well, it's important now that you go into folder options, just type in folder options in the search, bring that up and click on the View tab, and make sure you go Show Hidden Files, Folders and Drives. Press OK, Windows Explorer will refresh itself, and you'll have these files hopefully: backup.nfo, projects.nfo, and system.nfo. So say for example I want to show the backup folder. I will take away the visible equals false, save it, and click down here so I can reread the structure, and there we go, the backup is now here. So you might be thinking, well, how do I take things away? That's when you actually need to add in a line of code. So what I used is a code capital V for visible equals false with a capital F. That simple short code will be in the description, and you can add that to any one of your NFO files, which in turn is creating these folders in your browser. So I've kind of taken away what I don't needed, but definitely look into the patches folder where most of these NFO files are right here, and yeah, just take away what you don't need. Visible equals false. So you've got your browser set up, and you've got your toolbars set up, and you've also found a skin that looks nice. Now I'm just going to be quickly showing you how you can make your own startup template. So you'll notice whenever I want to start up FL Studio, start it up, and after it loads I've got everything I need to set up. For me anyway, I've got 20 different channels, one channel for each pattern, as you can see, another step onto each sampler when I go into different patterns. It's pretty simple to change these samplers into whatever plugin, or drag a sample on top. Say I can go and take just a symbol, drag it on top, and you know, whenever I play it, it's still up on the mixer under insert 1. This also works with plugins. Say I got Toxic Biohazard. There we go, and if you look at the mixer, even when I play something, it's coming up under insert 1. So that's a great way to organize yourself. You can even go to, instead of just using sampler channels, actually finding the plugins you usually use. For example, FL Studio has the bass drum, and I find that a really good, simple, easy to use, portable plugin. I don't need to download any VST, it's just there for me, and I can find a preset or make my own drum using these little knobs. So just having everything into mixer channels is helpful. You'll find it helpful, you might not realize it now, but when you finish making a track, if you want any chance of others thinking, whoa, you have to learn some pretty good mixing down, and then also you'll learn about mastering, which is just after you mix. You've had your mix down. It's great, but electronic music today is all about pumping music as loud as you can, right? Without distorting it. So that's what, you know, pretty much mastering is all about. It's super complex, but you at least want to make sure you do a good mix down. So mastering, you don't need to worry about that for now. And the cool thing about mastering is it's on the whole track, really. So you don't have to worry about inserts and mastering. It's just pretty much, you can link your track as a WAV into your playlist, and that can be just on the master, and you pretty much start using effects, ozone. But at least for mixing down, definitely make sure you've got nice, neat, color coded, maybe, or just at least named, because the last thing you want to do is get yourself messed up with remembering which sampler, which generator, which whatever goes into each mixer slot. Once you've set up the mixer, it's a lot easier. Yeah, so just look up online about template making. There's a good video I saw on YouTube that I'll link into us, which is pretty much, you know, not from us, but a good extension of what I've just talked about. And you pretty much just save this template as, go on to templates, templates, minimal, empty, and then save it over your empty one, because, or whatever template you open up with. Say maybe whenever you open up with a launchpad thing. If you want to set up your own little launchpad setup, you can save that over your original. And that's pretty much how you get started with pre-made templates just for what you need to set up. Last but not least, we'll be talking about blocks. Now, blocks are a great way to kind of keep things in one pattern and not have to worry about changing patterns, you know, because sometimes you make the mistake of thinking, oh, in track 2 it must be track 6, but in actual fact you forgot that you're still on track 5 or whatever. So patterns, whenever you hit into the pattern, of course it's only going into that pattern. Very helpful. So you might think, well, wait, didn't FL Studio will even stop the blocks? Well, I've got good news. If you download this reg key, which stands for registry file, open it up, run it, allow it to run, and change the values. Yes, are you sure you want to continue? Yes, no harm, I swear. I've just installed it myself. Just restart FL Studio and you'll notice when you open it the legacy blocks are there, and I'm sure heaps of people are a big fan of FL Studio's blocks, and the good news is they're not completely gone, they've just been hidden from us. So to anyone who found out how those blocks work, good on you, thanks for giving us that registry file. That's been me, Samir, for EMT, Electronic Music Tutorials. I'll be back, as well as all my friends who also do tutorials, so please stay tuned, subscribe to us, and we'll catch you back soon for another episode of tutorials.